See how much nicer that makes it. It's okay. Angle this down a little bit more so you guys can see the face of the anvil. And I guess we're just going to get started. I've got to make a boatload of stuff for an upcoming craft show. So we're going to see how this goes. I don't know how much you guys can hear me. I don't know any of that right now. So we're going to see how this works out. It might work out poorly, and I might never do it again. We don't know. But I got to get working. So my guess is you guys can hear this, and I don't want you guys to hear that. So we're going to leave that alone. So right now, all I'm doing is putting a point on a piece of square bar that is going to become a leaf. So now that we've got a point on it, we come to the near side of the anvil, or the far side of the anvil from me near to you, and I hit half on, half off to create a shoulder or an edge, like that. And then we turn it a quarter turn, and we just go back and forth. Isolating it like that. It's cold, so we're going to put it back in the fire. And I'm realizing I should probably be using a smaller hammer right now. Man, it's going to get warm in here. So then now that I've isolated that one section, I'm going to just make sure it's nice and true. And then we come to the close side of the anvil to me, far from you, and I knock down on the opposite sides to create a complete isolation. Throw that back in the fire. Interesting. My forge is acting kind of funny. It's not heating up as well as it should be. So now I'm using the square side of my hammer to force that isolation down and into itself. And then I'm just doing what's called, it's a basic hit turn, so I hit, I turn the material, I hit, I turn the material. And I've got to cut this piece off anyways, because it got fuggernucked somewhere. Probably a mishit. And we start over. And I will be right back. I'm going to just let some fresh air in here. Definitely not getting the right amount of flow out of my forge. So I got to try and address that right now. I'm going to turn everything off. See if I can figure out what's going on. anyone wondering, this is exactly how working in a blacksmith shop actually goes. It is very much just trying to solve problems half the time. There we go. Much better. Whew. Well, it's nice in here at least. Ugh. So I'm going to wait for that to heat up again, and we'll see how it goes. Not quite sure. It's been a little while since I've made one of these things, so we'll see, I guess. So for right now, we're just going to straighten everything back out. We're going to put the point back on this piece. Oopsie. Miss hit. And all I'm doing here is just making sure I have a good preform for what I'm making. Hoping that nothing's getting too hot over here. So we're going to set those shoulders in. That one wandered a little bit on me, but that's okay. Set both sets of shoulders in because we actually have enough heat in it. And the camera will not do the justice of how hot this stuff actually is. And that is one thing that I really wish I could somehow like show. Because it is hot. It is very, very warm in this building right now. My forge is pumping out close to 1,300 degrees Celsius, like constantly. That's why I much prefer to use a coal forge if I can. Alright, so now that we've got a basic preform, I just need to thin out the stem of this leaf. Which in reality does not take a huge amount of effort. So now you guys should be able to see. That's what the preform looks like. And I have done them with like rounded stems, but I think I'm just going to make most of these with square stems just because it is faster, essentially, and easier. Good to go. And then I just need to flatten it. Whoopsie. As it tries to roll away from me. So now, what I'm going to do, so you guys can see it's flat now. Heat her up. We're going to twist it. And that'll break the leaf off. And then after that, after breaking the leaf off, we'll texture it so that it looks a little bit more like a leaf, at least. A little bit. So how we break it off is just simply I grab it and I roll this. And it makes what's called a penny scroll. Like that. And it'll just peel right off. I can set this down on the ground away from me. Put my tongs down somewhere. They can go down there too. And I need to grab a different set of tongs. These ones. These are called flat bit tongs. They're good for holding, well, flat bits. And now I'm just going to straighten this out so that it looks all nice and pretty. And then we'll get to texturing. Do that scroll up a little bit more. All the stuff now that I'm doing is just nice and like very fiddly work. Which, believe it or not, the guy that swings a hammer doesn't really like fiddly work, so this is always something I kind of try not to do a whole bunch of, but I'm going to need to do it for a lot of these. So the next thing that I'm going to be using is a little, it looks like a chisel, but it's called a top fuller. Basically, it's a chisel that's been rounded. I don't know if you guys can see that. Like that. And then I'm just going to lay in lines that look like the veins of a leaf on the piece of material. So we pull it out. I'm just going to set it down. Set my tongs down somewhere. Then all we're doing is we're taking this bit right here and we're just tapping. You don't need to hit super hard to get the texture in these. Unless you want to launch it somewhere. Well, shit. Excuse me for a second while I go and look for something that's burning and probably starting my floor on fire. Found it! And because the piece is so small, it'll cool down really quickly. So that is something else that I kind of need to fight with constantly. Whew. Very warm in here. Very, very, very warm in here. Now I just need to bend the leaf itself into a leaf shape. So right now it's kind of dished like this. I need to bend it back the other way. Easiest way to do that without destroying the material or destroying the pattern that I've put into it is with a piece of wood. You just lay a piece of wood on top of the anvil. I sadly don't have one right now. I have a piece of wood that's screwed down right to my anvil stand right behind here, which is where I normally do all this stuff. So, for right now, that's what I'm going to do. I will try and find a chunk of wood that I can set up here so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. It's just a lot of fire is basically what it is. Now that we've got that set, and it smells like a campfire in here, I just need to bend the scroll around so that it makes a nice little hook, and then we have a nice little pendant. So we're going to just straighten this guy out. I've got a pair of scrolling tongs here. You bend it back and then around itself, hopefully. And there you go. Shut the door so you guys aren't getting glared in the face. There you go. Now we just shine it up. I've got a steel brush right here. Oopsie. But there we go. I'm going to dunk it in some water so I can hold it and show you guys. So there you go. That's what they look like. Only 99 more to go. I gotta start a bucket of these things. One. So I'm going to start going in kind of production mode. So that means I'm going to have 2 irons in the fire at all times. So I will probably stop talking quite so much, and I'm just going to be kind of working. But that's what I'm here for. That was the point of this, was to see how well it works to just have me working and doing my thing and seeing how many people actually enjoy it. So we shall see. So I'm going to need to cut off a chunk of this. Probably going to cut it about halfway. For those that were wondering, what I just did there was mark where I need to cut it. It's easier to do that cold so that you don't end up with like a giant misshapen piece. And it's easier to find. Alrighty, so now all I'm doing is I've got 2 pieces of steel. Both of them are going to go into the fire, and both of them are going to get worked at the same time. Or off-kilter times, but you get my meaning. So, here we go. One. True. And here's where the workout comes in. Now we just true everything up. And flatten her out. Here I am trying to drop everything. Okay, that looks pretty good. Oopsie. Now we're going to get to marking this one. Same thing, top fuller. I'm going to keep launching these things, apparently. Ow. Too cold, gotta go back into the fire. Drop your scrolling tongs. Better to brush them while they're warm. Into the bin. That's odd. Ugh. Alrighty, and I am actually out of stock for that. So we're going to make something else that's probably a bit more interesting to everybody else. We're going to make a blacksmith's knife. Or at least the pre-form of a blacksmith's knife, because I'm not going to take you guys along to the grinding room and, for, an hour and a half. So I will go grab some material for that, and we will do that. Now it just comes the task of finding material for it. Oh, perfect. The thing is sitting right in front of me. For those of you who are unaware, this is a railway spike. So right now, the idea of making not a railway not a railway spike knife, but a blacksmith's knife or medieval kitchen knife or whatever the hell you want to call it. Basically, your handle ends up looking like this. And then you have a knife blade coming off right here. And you use essentially the exact same techniques that you do to make a leaf as you do to make a blacksmith's knife. So that is one of the things that I like about them, is it's very transferable. A lot of the techniques and a lot of the things that you do to make them is extremely transferable. So that is nice. It makes your life a lot easier. I am going to switch over to a different hammer though. And we're just going to cut the railway spike head off. There we go. Shear it off, stick it back in the fire. This can go in the bin. There we go. Whew, it is warm in here. Alright, so first things first is isolating where we want the blade. You usually want to take only about a quarter or a third of the material, and you're going to do the exact same thing. That's a little too much. We'll go with that. You're going to do the exact same thing, or I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did for the leaves as I am here. So you're just isolating where you want the blade to be. And you can kind of preform a tip to it, but not too much, because then you end up with a bunch of fish mouthing and it just doesn't look too good. Right there, that's basically all we want. And then I flip it around, and this piece that's going to become the handle goes in the fire. I'm actually going to pick this bad boy up and move it like that. There we go. That's a little bit nicer. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab some water. All right, we're warm. So now I just need to draw this whole giant mess out. The easiest way to do it is on the corner of the anvil. You end up putting a bunch of ridges in it almost. But railway spikes are a much harder material than, say, mild steel. So it takes a little bit longer to move them, sadly. The hope is I'll be able to get my power hammer in here soon. And that will change the workflow a lot. Wow, it's warm in here. I'm gonna try something here, guys. We're gonna see if you guys can see my treadle hammer. You can. Don't know how well that'll work, but we'll find out. So basically what this thing is a foot-powered or a leg-powered power hammer. They work okay. It is not my favorite piece of machinery here, simply because it takes a lot of effort to use. It can make things go a little bit quicker, but a lot of the time, it's just as fast to swing a hammer by hand. I'm gonna have to switch to a different hammer. I'm out of shape. Ah, fuck. Well, I'm gonna have to call the workday over, guys. I'm getting a phone call from somebody, and my guess is they need me to come and get them. But thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out, and I will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.